Phew.
And maybe it's better that way. Can we start again? This happens.
Now we can
Have you started recording?
allow record. Make host. There you go. I've made you the host. So do you want to do it, or would you like me to do it? No, you do it. Maybe. You do it. Okay. There you
No,
go.
I still cannot do it, love. I cannot do it. The message is, please, I need recording permission.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it. Tell me when.
Okay, no, I've got it now.
Yeah.
Finally, everything is unveiled. Okay, record on this computer. Go.
Great.
All right. So just take a deep breath. Inhale and inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Light to this sacred gathering. We are connected with our cosmic selves and collective cosmic selves of the highest preferred timelines. We are also and the inner childs, the golden childs, and we are connected with the embrace of Mother Gaia through the great grandmother trees that are extending their branches and rocking us in this beautiful collective field of sacredness. So we activate and expand the morphogenic fields around us, and we interlink with each other of each one of our vessels in this tapestry of light, as well as raise the frequency of this Merkaba field that we are forming together. One huge pillar of light within an extended Merkaba where we intercreate this gathering by weaving with each other, exchanging with each other, and activating, upgrading, going deep into what needs to come forth to presence, and of the language of light, the language of the heart. So take a deep breath and exhale. Qui sanu hurarata shatiruta neo ikwa manalayanu aquarudariu wi laleyani And let's breathe in the light, the threefold light, the emerald, the pink violet, the golden light, the rainbow light that surrenders. Let's visualize two infinity symbols that are intertwined. One is vertical and one is in horizontal. And they're rotating anti-clockwise. Visualize that rotation, that spin. And these two symbols, that are spinning anti-clockwise, they are spinning anti-clockwise towards the golden sphere that is right in front of each one of us in the circle of light. So it's at the very center of the circle. So let's move them, feeling the spin. You are spinning from the golden portal of your heart. You are blasting the spin of these two infinity symbols, representing the gateway to unity through infinity into the sphere of golden light towards the center pillar, the crystal energy that is at the center of our circle. Just feeling that spin. And as the symbol is approaching the sphere of golden light, spin it now with your intention from the portal. Lock it. When you feel that the symbol that is locked in the middle, you blast that symbol into the golden sphere. And as you blast of light that connects the interplanetary platform and our Mother Gaia. And that, as that is connected, imagine that we are now igniting a spin anti-clockwise and clockwise within pillar, with all our higher selves, our galactic selves, our inner golden child, our future selves, and all our teams. And we are expanding and amplifying this field of union to work through, to weave the love, the light, and to anchor it. Possibilities behind time-space. So we're spinning anti-clockwise and clockwise. Within your own sacred spaces, you can make a sound so that you feel the spinning and then the locking in the middle. Money, Zamini. And we are allowing, we are surrendering to the interplanetary energy that is flowing, and to the groundness and the anchoring and integration of our vessels with our extended silver cords and golden cords to the center core of Mother Gaia. And we are feeling activated. And in this point, in this 0 point that we are, amplified field of love, we are beaming simultaneously in 360-degree spectrum, taking a spectrum of 360 degrees. We are beaming a golden, pink, and violet and emerald wave of light throughout our planet and throughout all the other planets, giving it a signal, sending a message that we are activating, we are ready to embody this magnificence that the language of the heart brings in all layers of our life. We are breathing life to our personal paths. We are breathing life through the interplanetary movements and shifts that are accelerating. We are breathing life with a language into all councils on Earth and interplanetary that are amalgamating, that are in currently negotiating peace agreements, that are currently uniting and synthesizing and returning to essence and unity within the codes of simplicity, of sovereignty, of respect, of inner authority, of love, of peace, of compassion, of growth, of expansion throughout this huge morphogenic field that we are forming. We are sending the signals and we're breathing life also to planet Earth in all layers, to all the shifts that are taking place at government level, at environmental level, institutional level, that especially focusing on the shifts that are taking place within our Earth, as there are huge fluctuations. Are we connecting through the language of the art, who has the ability to shift and accelerate, harmonize, balance, restore equilibrium very quickly? We are to do the work that is necessary whilst we are ourselves being activated by collecting all our fragments and fractals of Aya, of the self, to unite within. We are understanding the different levels and layers of the heart of the new human, all the 4+ chambers and their values and how they contribute to infuse this brilliant, radiant, irradiant, and luminescent crystalline plasma and solar light of healing and and from without, and in an harmonic resonance together within this circle. We are uniting as one tone, one Christ-seated tone. All layers of the self, connecting within with all the shadow aspects, with all the light aspects, connecting to deeper layers and patterns of ancestral lineages and bloodlines that sometimes get us with the layers of the collective consciousness of Mother Earth that has ascended, but there's still parts of her that is equally in state. And it's those parts of her, they are parts of us, for we are one and the same. How to work through separation that still exists within the light worker community, within the star seeds that are emerging, within those that have been dwelling as pioneers, gatekeepers, and gatekeepers for a long time of the collective mind, the collective universal mind, of the agreements that we have undertaken as souls to come and fulfill for others in our oversoul group. There's so many layers to work through, and the language of light is a tool to work these layers in an accelerated, compassionate, and loving way. So visualize that in the middle of that pillar of light, you have now a full rotation of the circle, anti-clockwise, clockwise, linking it now, finally anchoring. And repeat to yourselves these words. I am ready to give the signal, to collect the I am that I am in fullness. I am ready to accept thyself fully. I am ready to love thyself. Process, to integrate, to embody all parts of myself that are still separate from me in the illusionary game. I am ready my inner authority parts. I'm ready to collaborate and co-create within the self and without the self, with interplanetary and with our planet, our Mother Earth. I am that I am, and I'm inviting my presence now to direct the energy that I emanate as a full being from the very center of my heart. For you are in the driver's seat all the time. I'm ready to connect with Source directly, without any hierarchies, connecting and engaging at deep levels and listening to my intuition. And I am ready to discern and filter what is not of my highest preferred timeline, and accept that everyone vibrates at different levels of the spectrum, and that I acknowledge that. But I have a point of choice where I situate myself to return to this essence of my divinity at all times, and to grow as the next step. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And another deep breath and exhale. I surrender to all that I am giving and receiving. I am that I am in love. And I see each one of you in this sacred circle. Beautiful sisters, but you don't seem to have a name. It's perfect as it is. And so it is. So slowly, just absorb all this that has been received through us. For it is the dynamic of the group that how the energy moves, how the information, what information is received, and what information is given, and what speaks through us, through Mother Earth and through the cosmos, through us and through the elementals that we connect with, the mountains and the trees and the unicorns, whatever we connect as parts of ourselves. So taking a minute to absorb the immensity of this beauty. It's being weaved with this gathering. And just opening your eyes. To express your intentions. So, as soon as you are ready to unmute yourself, so organically this will function just like it functions when we have our meetings, our community meetings. So you just unmute yourself and you just say your name, you know, what's coming up for you, you know, and your intention for yourself. What is your intention in terms of this gathering over the 4 weeks that we are together? Because everyone is different. So we're ready to start. Who's the Denise, you want to go? Or Zara?
Yeah, if no one else does it, I will start. My name is Zara and I live in Germany. And I have been speaking my personal light language for like 23 years now. I'm doing the singing. And recently I did a session with Denise, who's here.
Yes.
And I found out that there is so much more to learn because she was just totally amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said like, oh, I want to learn this. And then you came and offered this class, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, just my intention is to go to my next level with the light language and learn more, so as much as I can.
Ayo.
Thank
So
you.
we always say Ayo, which is
Mm,
we see you, we recognize you, we praise you.
thank you. Ayo.
Thank you.
I'll go next. I'm Denise. I'm in New Zealand, and thank you, Sarah. And yeah, there's just so much, you know. There's so much. There's always the next levels, and just that awakening. And I just want it all. I just want to be living my fullest, highest expression, and to remember all that I am. That's my intention. Yeah.
Ayo, sister.
Thank you.
So I'll go next. Okay, I've got a frog in my throat. So my name is Mayana. I'm presently in Spain. And I've been waiting for this for a long time, been pestering Yukia to do these sessions, if you call them sessions. Really, I don't have any intention but just to learn to be through this process. And that's it. Just be. Thank you.
Ayo, sister. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rosalind. I'm presently in Israel, and I've been, I believe, kind of speaking a light language for a long time in my own ways. I think mostly from my inner child, and I loved connecting there. And knowing Yukia and the experience that she brings, I really also am very interested in knowing more about the origins of light language and more about all kinds of light languages. And I love the sharing and the communing together with all of you. And whenever we get together, it's expanding and inspiring. And I would like to open up even more and also reach more deeply inside and to my highest I am presence and self. Ayo. Thank you.
Ayo.
I want to unmute myself. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Brigitte. I live currently in Seattle in the United States. I'm here to simply become more of myself, integrate more of myself. I've been what I perceive to be doodling, what I now know was light language, probably for the last 25 years. And so there is a part of me that desires to really reach people and alter energy bypassing the mind and the mental body. And so I feel like I would really love to also connect with other aspects of the light language in order to serve in a greater capacity.
Ayo.
I am Maria. I live in Sweden, and I'm here to be myself. And I met Denise in June, and she talked a little light language to me, and then I just started talking. And I speak a lot of different kinds of light language, and I don't know, I haven't explored what it means or what the different kind means of what I'm saying. I've just been speaking.
Mhm.
Hi, my name is Jo. I'm based in England. I'm very interested in sound healing and very drawn to wanting to speak light language. I sing. I'm learning how to play the crystal singing bowls, and I want to grow and keep growing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Kia ora. I'm Lisa from New Zealand, and I've been speaking light language for about 15 years. And then since working with Yukia in the groups, I've understood there's so much more of us that is coming into alchemizing into being. And I really want to understand more of some of the aspects of fractals of multidimensional self, and know that at different times I speak different light languages, and I'm not entirely sure what they all are. So I'd like to know more and share more deeply with my sisters here, and just become more of who we truly are. And yeah, I just made it, but 60 minutes before we started. It was such a fine line getting in here. But Yukia, yes, I'm a dyslexic galactic girl, and yeah, but just so much joy and quite a lot of emotion in my heart to be here with you. So yeah, thank you, with you all. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Ayo.
Mhm.
Hi, my name is Mai. I'm in Egypt. Hello, Yukia.
Beautiful. Hello.
I'm very, very pleased to be here, and I'm lately drawn very naturally to work with light, and my intention is to just to be it and to see what it is bringing, and to really dissolve any obstacle, if there is any, to bring in the light for me and for everything and everybody around. Thank you. Oh yeah.
Thank you. Ayo. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Sylvie. I come from Norway, and I met also Denise last June. And I met Maria also briefly online. And I'm very shy about light language because I haven't got a clue, but it comes out a soft kind of version of me that I like a lot. And when I speak it, I feel very peaceful, and sometimes I see geometry and colors. And Denise and I had a wonderful experiment. She visited me, and we planted a little wildflower field. And I swear, and we did some light language around it, and in like 3 weeks in Norway, it just went woof, and they became very, very abnormally tall, those flowers, and very abundant. They lasted till October, and that is not usual, I don't think. So I'm just very curious, and I want to learn more. Thank you for having me.
Hiya. Welcome. You are welcome.
Hi, my name is Dora. I'm coming from Slovenia, but currently I'm living in China, working here. So last month I explored a lot of things about myself during connection from light language from different beings. I don't understand anything, just surrendering myself. So it is stronger and stronger every day. And I would like to explore or learn more about that and remove all the obstacles that are still in me that blocking me from completely surrounding and connecting to this part of myself. And yes, every time someone connect with me, every time one part of me is explored or changed, it is like a journey. So thank you, Yukia, for this opportunity and for guidance. I really feel I'm completely lost in this world. So yes, just last 2 weeks I don't speak a lot because I don't speak Chinese, and all I'm speaking most of time is light language. I'm working, so yes, thank you.
Thank you. Ayo.
Yeah.
Is everyone already introduced themselves, or are we missing? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just checking because my connection continues to tell me that it's unstable.
Mhm.
Yeah, your sound does
Who's
drop.
speaking?
Your sound
Zara?
does drop back a little bit, in and out.
Yes.
You can hear me now?
We can hear you, but your sound does drop
Yes.
in and out a bit.
Oh no.
Mhm.
I'm going to fetch my earphones. Just give me a minute. Maybe that will. Okay, that's also not available. So.
Mhm.
You can hear me?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So echo, so Birgitte, if you can mute yourself again, it might be.
Yeah, everybody mute yourself. So please let me know if that you can hear me clearly. I can't hear anything.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear.
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear.
All
Joe
right,
can
lovely.
hear.
All right. So what I will be doing is I will be talking in light language, all right? And then I'll be translating, decoding. And the reason I'm doing this for a little bit, I'm going to be speaking about the language of light, okay? The language of the heart, and how this language emerged, you know, and what is the ancestral root to the language, the lineage to the languages, and also how the language manifests itself in different ways. All right? So I will be decoding as I go along. And the reason I'm doing this is that most of you, with probably exception of one, but I do believe that everyone here speaks the language of light. And it is one, you know, from now onwards, it's to prepare decoders. Okay, so that means that all those that have been speaking for a long, long time, they're now going to be receiving different type of coding and igniting a different type of coding that gives you the ability of decode the language so that you can transmit the messages that comes from your teams. There will be very important messages that very soon will be coming through as from July. And there is a great need to prepare as many as possible to transmit those messages from the heart space, not from the mental, not from your mental energy, which is that's what the difference is. The other day, I was listening to a video on, I scanned the internet just to see what's the state of the frequencies and the affairs. I usually don't been given very clear guidelines for the past 6 years not to read stuff from other people, not to listen to stuff for a long time, so that I could then direct my experience. So receive myself, learn to trust, receive the messages of our teams and the messages of your connection with your own self, and then transmit. But I do scan it. And I was scanning it very quickly, and I came through a video of someone that was decoding the language and was decoding very much from the mental state, meaning the mind was decoding the message, and the message that was being decoded was completely different. Language. Now, this is where we don't want to be. We want to be in the state where we are decoding and transmitting from the heart space, because this is the language of the heart. Okay, so the language comes in, and immediately you start decoding. There's no time to think. There's no time to formulate your thoughts. No time. It's a spontaneous thing. For you to be in that space, okay, there is a requirement that you return to your pure energy, the energy of your essence. So if there are parts of yourself that are still stagnated in different layers, either in the shadow self or in patterns that are attached to your lineage or bloodline that needs to be completely let go or released, or really amongst the light language community, those that have been speaking for a long time, it's those of not trusting what comes through, okay, as the context of the language, like as the frequency of not trusting. And that is always related to something that has happened, okay, in your lifetimes of your choice, as you've experienced as a soul. You've chosen by you a path through past lifetimes, and to lifetimes in between planets and in planets, as well as in the inner earth, where lots of occasions and situations of fear have arisen, either that spring from the longing to go home, so there it's the grief, or that spring from the abuse of power. You know, as witches, as cult leaders, as mystery school leaders, as, you know, that is on the earth plane, but also as light workers in the interplanetary arena. Many do not know the real story of light workers in the interplanetary arena. We have not been saints, exactly. You know, we have prepared, we as light workers in different planets, we have been prepared for this mission long time. We had to master the darkness and we had to master the light. So we were given missions by choice, of course, in different planets to do exactly that. And in relation to our planet Earth, we haven't exactly been kind to our planet Earth. In the origins of all things, we were involved in a lot of genetic manipulation of DNA, of the new human that was weaved during the time of the ancient builders race, you know, even before that. So as Pleiadians, mainly, as Sirius, as Arcturians, as Alpha Centaurians, specifically these 4 races, we've been actively involved on Earth, actively involved. And we always had a feeling that we were selective. We always thought we are more than the human on this planet. We are more, we are superior, and we treat interventions with our planet, the planet that we live in. We treated the earthbound souls, let's call it this way, the earthbound souls, this way. And we were instrumental in the manipulation of the genetic component of the DNA and the adulteration of the construct, together with other groups of star beings. So that was the period where we were in our ego consciousness. Then there was a transition in our plan, in planet Earth, as planet Earth became a very important planet in terms of resources, in terms of water, in terms of gold, minerals, of, you know, a whole, and also as a study case, especially revolving and around the energy of love, how love is manifested in this planet. What is it like to have... Can you hear me?
It's you.
Just a moment.
Too.
It's my. What is it like to live in the human body, a body that feels sadness, that feels abandonment, that feels fear? So we realized that the earthbound souls and that this planet was a treasure, and that we were not superior to the earthbound souls that lived on Earth. So we started navigating as light workers or star seeds towards heart incarnated. And we started you know, going through the forgiveness in so much forgiveness loops, interplanetary, which is very different than the forgiveness loops within our Earth, but forgiveness loops. We were given missions that were really very difficult so that we could work through the parts of ourselves that created separation with the Earth beings. We had to go through the shadow of ourselves of greed, of selection, of separation, of exclusiveness, and dissolve those aspects in order to come back to the heart consciousness. It revolves about one specifically central point, and it's the point of unity consciousness. We are all one, we are all united, even though each one of us united in our own diversity. So it took us a long time to actually navigate through heart consciousness. And this is before this incarnation, this recent incarnation. Different levels of frequency, because we are here in this group, we've got different levels of frequency and we come from very different parts. Some of them within this galaxy, some of them inner Earth, but still galactic beings. Some of them from the dragon realm, some of them, so it's a whole different frequencies. But all these frequencies had to navigate through these phases. So we had to go through the forgiveness for the separation, because we bursted in many ways the separation in this planet. We brought the seed of separation. Okay, so we had to forgive ourselves, we had to work through the heart consciousness, and when that was complete, all right, that was the time that the 144,000 were needed to come to Earth. Because our planet was not doing at the time saved. Of course, now we're not in any stage that we are saving anyone or rescuing anyone, but we are empowering instead of doing that. But at the time, the planet that had gone through the process of the darkness, mastered both energies, and were coming to Earth with one intention: to unite in community and collaboration, and to bring the heart to the essence of truth, authenticity, and love, and sovereignty, and authority, and inner authority to this point in time. So we came from different places. All of us came with this one intent: to bring this planet to unity through the new incarnated. And we chose to incarnate in families that depending on the levels of frequencies that we've had and the path that we took, we chose to incarnate in families that were sometimes very difficult, so that the child or the children in the family were the guides and the teachers of the parents. I don't know if it resonates with you, but this has happened. And some of us did not incarnate in families that were difficult, because we had done it before, we had mastered that, or we had lived in the collective consciousness of Gaia as aspect. Great, all the great transits of Gaia where the destruction took place since the time of Lemuria, since the time of Atlantis, since the time of the Egyptian empires, since the Sumerian, all those great phases, the First World War, the Second World War, all those great transits. Some of us didn't live in body. We lived in, experienced it. So we had the heart.
Sorry, Yukia, you're breaking up a lot, love.
The knowingness.
Sorry, Yukia. You keep breaking up. You keep breaking up and freezing. Brief, you know, but you're frozen at the moment. It's yeah.
I'm frozen at the moment.
Yeah. So not now, but it just
all right.
You just freeze and then we'll miss bits. But, you know, it wasn't lasting long, but then it was just doing it quite a lot then.
Okay, is all right now? So did you get the part that you know, the choices that we needed to absorb? Okay, can you hear that?
It was just half sentence.
Yeah.
It's like you start a sentence and then a bit is missing and then you go on. So it's difficult to follow.
That is not good. All right, let me see if anywhere in this house, because I'm told that the lounge is the right place. But let me find out if it's better. Oh, and we do it here. These are the challenges with Peru. There are these challenges. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me better?
Just speak. Just speak again. You'll have to speak.
Okay, so we were at the part that we've chosen our parents and our different families. Okay, and depending on our lessons that we had still to be resolved with Earth, and with the growth and expansion of our souls, we decided on our parents and our the experiences and the expressions of the soul would be. Can you hear me?
Yes, that seems to be better.
Okay, so I'm in the room now. All right. So let's just put this. I would have thought that the room was worse, but because it's small, maybe it's more contained. All right, so this. So this. Just give me a minute to connect here with the wall. Yeah, this is all very challenging. Okay. It's not doing it.
All right. So can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, so we'll just have to see if you freeze or not, because it just would go in and out.
Right. So we were at the part that the light workers have chosen to be here and to navigate through different expressions and impressions and experiences according to what each one's path of growth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you froze briefly again. I think we might just have to put up with it. It comes through fine, and then it you just freeze, and then it starts going again.
Yeah, and this is like the best place in the valley. It's not that, the other places are worse. There's been a lot of electrical storms and fluctuations up and down. So I'm back now.
I just wonder if you turn your camera off, if that will help.
Oh, maybe. Let's try that, okay? Okay. Can you see me?
We can still see you.
All right. Even that?
Yep, no, there you go. Now you're off.
Perfect. So, the fluctuations, we've all gone through different experiences. Some of us have gone through very traumatic experiences. Others had to create experiences and patterns of trauma. So to get to know this planet. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So those soul experiences of trauma and patterns of trauma to be experienced were usually souls that only been here once or twice or 3 times. So there are souls that, for example, in my own experience, as a walk-in soul twice. In my previous soul, it was the first time in this planet. I had to create experiences of trauma because I chose to incarnate in a family which was heart-centered, as my lesson was to return to the heart and to get to know how the energy of love is connected in this planet, how the energy in this planet. So this type of soul creates had to create experiences of trauma and choices of trauma later on in life to get to know it. But of course, all of you have had a lot of you have had different experiences. And this was part of the light worker's path on coming at this time to Earth. So that is about ourselves. But we didn't just come in to learn the lessons for ourselves. We didn't just come in to learn the lessons, to work out the karma for ourselves that had not been completed. We come in with agreements that we made before our incarnation with our oversoul, to come and work out the lessons of our oversoul members, some of our oversoul members. things undone or not completely healed. And we came to work out their imprints, their karma. So there is a collective part that became ours, but was not ours upon arrival. And then there's your personal path of transformation and working out, to work out. So that is why there's been so many layers of healing for light workers. That layer. Don't tell, now the same stuff is coming up. It's not the same stuff. It's the stuff from the collective that you're still working out, that you have made an agreement to come and work out. It's the stuff from your star lineage or the agreements that you've made with them in order for them to keep a tap on how you were feeling on earth. So you were implanted some device, sometimes small devices, as study cases, as experiments. These were agreements that you've made. Except at this time, we had to complete very, very quickly all these cycles. Collective imprints and overlays of the agreements that we've made with our soul group. We had to complete our own internal journey. We had to complete the internal journey that some of us have had in the collective consciousness of Gaia. We had to release and let go and erase from our field all devices, all chips, all implants that were not malevolent in some cases. In some cases, they were malevolent, but malevolent from our field so that we could remain empty to be we could receive at this time the new skill set and the new assignments and a full activation of the languages of the heart. Okay, so I'm going to stop at this stage because this is important. Before I go into light language and explain, and then the decoding. And I'm inviting questions because it's important that you understand this part, that the reason that a lot of us, and most, I would say all of us, feel that this is not our place, that we have this longing to go home, that we have also the huge shame, this huge, the fear coming up. It's because of our own history as light workers. It's important that we collectively acknowledge where we are. We go into that forgiveness of our roles, because those were roles that we played in order to bring souls to this planet in that fashion. We were not connected with any organization or group of star beings that were manipulating this world, this planet, unless we were serving the shadow in our own development, because it's part of our development. And most of us had to do both, so to master. So this collective grief that is felt is not just the grief because we have been manipulated. No, we have not been manipulated. You know, we were part of this thing that took this activity that took place in this planet, that were playing only at interplanetary level, okay, and interacting as aspects of self in souls that were in the earth, you know. So if you are a Pleiadian, you would be interacting with you were not living in that body. You were just an aspect of that body, and you were interacting through that body and giving guidance to that person. But
Sorry, Yukia, you're breaking up quite badly now.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I'm the only one who really couldn't follow.
Yeah,
what you've said now, and it's very important. I felt it's very important, but I couldn't follow.
Yeah, from the Pleiadians or before that?
Before that, when you started talking about why it's happening to light workers, about the what we're going through.
I can't hear anything. We have a problem.
Oh, so you couldn't hear that either, Yukia?
I
could hear that Maya said that she could not follow.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't hear anymore.
So when you started talking about the light workers and the purpose here, you know, that we chose to come in, so around that it started dropping out again.
Okay. So I'll go back to that point. So if you were a Pleiadian, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were interacting with the earth-bound soul. So you were not living in the body of that soul, of that soul. Can you hear me?
No, you just broke out when you said we're not living in the body of that soul.
You were just living as an aspect of that soul. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Maybe if I speak slower. So you were guiding that soul. Like I'm giving an different perspectives. Okay. The first phase, you were guiding the soul from an ego consciousness perspective, because you were still in ego consciousness. Remember, you were on the other side, you know, and you were still learning and you're still growing as a soul. So you were guiding that soul from a selective point of view. Okay. So, and then as you grew closer to your own pure essence, you began guiding that soul through your heart consciousness. All right. Can you hear me that? Can you hear that?
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Okay. So we did this, you know, so during these phases of collectives, entities, we worked in
these phases.
We connected with souls, entities. Can you hear me, Mai?
Yeah, it was like the connection isn't great, so some words yes, and so I'm trying to figure out what you're saying in a way.
Yeah.
Is that for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a problem. This is a real challenge. Okay, let me try something. I'm going upstairs now. Where the router is. Okay. Now I'm trying everything. You know, before I prepared for this, I asked, what's the best place? And they told me, this is the best place. But it doesn't seem to be the ideal place.
It's okay. It is what it is.
It is what it is. And, okay, the router is here.
Maybe you can write it down later, like a...
I can do that.
Yeah, for the parts that have been missed, if you listen
Yeah,
to it.
this an important unknown story. Well, it's not totally unknown, but okay. I'm now sitting with the. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can try.
Router is
Not great.
not
Sorry.
great.
Sorry.
Okay, it's okay, Mai. I understand.
No, try. Keep going, Yukia, because that
Okay.
all right.
Okay, so getting back to the light workers, all right. With all this movement, okay, we have been able to master both sides, but in the process, there's been a lot of pain and a lot of grief and a lot of guilt, you know, and a lot of shame that we have felt when we came this time. Because we remember what role we had. And we also now remember that we're now starting to remember all the skills that we have to transmit through the language that's going to be activated at an exponential rate, you know, from the clarity of our hearts that is now in unity. Okay. Up. I'm bringing this up because it's not information that's known. And I'm bringing this up because a lot in speaking the languages for a long time, there are parts of yourself that are part of the release of the imprinting of your stuff. You've worked through your stuff. Okay. It's also part of the remembrance of the time that you were part of the manipulation, sometimes a sadness, a guiltiness. You can't.
Yeah. Love, can you just repeat from the part where you said, I'm bringing this up?
Okay,
being brought, and then it got quite hacked. So if you can just do that part again, please.
So I'm bringing this important to realize that the layers that we have worked on and released and let go, they are not the only ones that were needed. That the collective imprinting of this remembrance, that collective pain that we feel, is just another layer that is impeding us from completely uniting with ourselves. Can you hear that?
Yes.
I heard that, yes.
Yes, thank you.
So, as light workers, we are at the point now where everything has been paid. You know? Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, so we've completed our own journey. We are most of those that are instruments now of change, activated in all the languages, prepared for decoding, all right, are uniting with all the parts of ourselves. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. And we are also collecting, transmuting the imprints of the collective soul of each one of us.
And what does that mean, Yukia? What does that mean?
Can you hear?
I heard it, but what does it mean?
It means that each one of us, like I mentioned before, had agreements with our soul group before we came. All right? And we came to work out some of those agreements for them, either in less karma.
Hold on, we missed that, Yukia. Sorry, honey.
We came to work out some of those agreements with them, with our soul group, either in terms of karma or in terms of lessons or in terms of ancestral and lineage rescripting or reframing. So that's the last layer. Scott, it's not your personal stuff. It's not the stuff of Gaia. Each one of us committed with our soul groups to come and do on their behalf. Okay? Can you hear that?
Yes.
Yes, heard that. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Now, after this transmission, I will be sending a collective imprint transmutation meditation. 3 minutes. And you listen to that, each one of you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Inviting each one of you to listen to that before you go to sleep. And as long as you need to listen to it, what is it? It is a release. It's a let go of the imprinting of all agreements that we have made with our soul group, with our star lineage, with our ancestors and bloodlines, and with Gaia itself. Okay, that is the last layer. Right? Now, I was shown this 2 years ago when I was taken very, very ill, because at that time I had worked through getting into my essence, into the truth of who I was, you know, and to wanting to stay, getting frustrated when still the feelings of longing came up. And at the time, I had 2 big, what looked like tumors in my head, very big. And I was taken to, of course, to emergency, you know, because I couldn't think. I lost speech. I lost memory of all the languages that I spoke, except light language. I lost comprehension. Also, I lost a memory of everything. And of course, I knew that this was a recalibration and quite an aggressive recalibration. And place. And it was harsh. But during that time, and I had nothing wrong physically, no one could find anything wrong physically. So what took place during those, a recoding, a rewiring, but at the same time, it was made very clear in the holographic living library that I see, because I'm a seer, so I can see attention that this layer was a layer that to be taken care of, but that we as light workers needed to acknowledge this layer, needed to release this layer, needed to feel the pain of this layer, if pain was coming up, if guilt was coming up, if forgiveness was coming up. And then the gratitude had to be expressed also in order to, so that we could be empty, clean, to be ourselves only. So doing, yes?
Can you just repeat the bit about from gratitude?
And express gratitude at this point for completing that cycle. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, in the last month, I recorded a meditation taking us through each body. So, our own vessel, meaning purification, the emotional body clearance and purification, the mental constructs, the spiritual constructs, the etheric constructs, and the star lineage constructs. So everything is inside this vessel. The meditation takes us through each of those bodies, and it breaks, it's like a breakthrough to release all those commitments and agreements that we've made at different levels, and the stories and the dramas, the creation of stories that we have replaced in order to work through those contracts and agreements that we had at all these levels. It's got light language and it's got sound also, and you while listening to this, you also are invited to do your own sound at each level. Okay, and only you know when you're done, really. Some people take 3 days, some people take 30 days. You know, as you go through each of these, the transmutation of each of these imprints, you will know at physical level, everything's gone. Okay, emotional level, everything's gone, you know. And it's to work with honesty and with authenticity, investing in clearing, cleansing, purifying, and erasing all that you've undertaken as agreements, so that you can become empty and you can return to essence and joy. So your channel then becomes pure completely. There's only pure energy, and there's no longer any baggage or any grief or any shame or any guilt or any separation or even an idea of separation. Are you listening?
Yes, that was good.
Yes,
That was good.
Yes.
So this place seems to be a little bit better. Okay, so this meditation, you know, it's from this week to next week. I would suggest maybe that you do every day, before you go to sleep, you know, so that, and stuff will come up. So you listen to the meditation, and the next day, things that you've got to, that you have seen, probably will be seen from a different perspective, you know, and other stuff that you haven't seen also will be unveiled for you now, because now it's accessible to you. And why is this important? It's important so that we return to purity. It's to purify our vessel so that we can then act as full transmitters of this language with the understanding of the messages that we can bring through from that heart space that is now going to start opening fully. Okay. I'm ready for questions, because this is very important, this part. Without this part, you know, having a look at, okay, you've all done, and I know I can scan it. You've all done a whole lot of individual work, okay, in different places and different frequencies, but you've done a lot, you've invested in your personal work. There's just another layer of it. And that layer, having gone through the experience, you know, was impeding me at the time from going forth to the next level, you know, of access. And also the next level of being able to decode from the heart united with the collective self, and invite all those galactic to
Yukia,
embody. Yes?
would you please repeat the last two sentences?
Okay, and invite all the collective parts, the galactic collective parts of myself, okay, from different planets and different frequencies that were part of the soul, invite them to embody. Because I had access to those. I remember those, but they were not embodied. They were not grounded in the physical vessel. They were not yet part of that unity. And so if they were not, they were fluctuating up. They were accessible, sometimes they were not accessible. And it caused a lot of fragmentation at the time. And grief also. Grief. The minute the embodiment phase started kicking in, and I felt the grounding. It's like you are descending. So you ascend your frequency, you raise your awareness, you expand your field, you do all your inner work. But then you need, when you're collecting all the higher frequencies of yourself, in the physical body and in the physical reality that you are living. And this is called dissension. So you unite fully with yourself in this physical experience, in this planet. And when that takes place, the longing to go anywhere stops. The longing to go, to return to the planet of origin, to go outside yourself into an altered state. Because you finally are home in the heart space. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm ready for questions. Please unmute and to you, you know, in terms of understanding, this is a safe container. All right. This part is probably the most, the part that there is most misunderstandings about, you know, and also it's the part that impedes many to go forward into the next step.
Yuki, can I go?
Yes.
Okay, so it's interesting that you're bringing up everything that you're bringing up today. I'm going to try and collect my thoughts and try to make this clear. It's not really a question. Maybe there's a question in this. When I had my, when I saw you in Portugal and I had my session with you, you told me that I had been through thousands and thousands of lifetimes, but on both sides, the dark side and the light side.
Yes.
And when you told me that, it resonated really well. And I thought, yeah, that makes sense. I can feel that. Then probably on some level, it must have been doing something within me. It was always like, since then, it's always been at the back of my mind, my head, but I never thought more about it until today, actually. I was actually listening to, we call him a teacher, George Cavasilas. I've been listening to him for a long time, and he mentioned this as well. And it hit me again that he mentioned that at one point, when it hit him, how many lifetimes he'd had on the dark side and the light side, and how he broke down. Like this is a big Greek man who just broke down like
I know him well, yeah.
Yeah. So he was talking about how when it hit him, his play, his role, how he contributed to where the planet is, and you know, taking responsibility and ownership. It hit me again, and it was as if today I was taking a walk, and I'm in Marbella by the sea, by the mountains, and it hit so hard today. I mean, like really to have full awareness of, I speak for myself now, of my role on the state of the planet. I played such a role in the state of where the planet is. And I went to the beach and I could have just cried. I could have cried my soul out. I think it's so.
Yes. And you know, that is, can you hear me when I'm talking? That is a place, you are in a place of extreme, like amplified purging at the moment. Okay. And when you are in that place, is the place where you hit, where we say you've gone beyond 0 point. And it's the place that you turn the page. Of course you feel the sadness. It's an existential guilt. It's an existential sadness. And I really invite anyone that is at that point now, which for me, it's, you know, you've heard me saying, oh, if that's where you are, it's positive. It's great. You know, I've been there.
It's not like it's not like I'm feeling guilt. It's not like I'm feeling a sadness of, oh, I'm such a bad person. I've done so much wrong. It's just the sense of total, I can't even find the words. It's like total awareness. It's like you know, when you know your role and you can't deny it.
Yes, yes.
And
But
then it feels
yes,
like
but
all I want to do now is I just want to. It's so hard to put words, UK. It's like I want to not even make up for it. It's not something I want to make up for doing something wrong. It's not like, you know, it's payback time. It's like the only thing that can come out of this is like, let me just, you know, and it's like there is no blame, there is no shame. And it's
yeah,
like, even when I see the ones who are doing, let's call them whatever, the ones who are running the planet and all the dark side and everything, I look and I think, God, I was there. I did the same thing. I know better. Is that sense of...
there's also a great feeling as a result of that, isn't it?
It
You
is.
know?
It's
Because you have the awareness and the full awareness now integrated that you were part of that. There is a compassionate understanding of it, because this was game, and these were roles that were so critical and so important to get us all to where we are now. You know, they were critical, and I really appreciate your sharing, because I am sure that many that are present here also feel at certain point this type of realization is the most transformative realization. The old to the new, you know, because yes, there is no blame, there's no guilt. The only thing is seeing with such clarity that yes, I was part of that, and I see what they are, and I'm compassionate, and I can only really infuse the light of the source into those that are still playing those roles, so that others can break through. So we hear a lot, and I certainly heard, you know, when I was a child, you know, when you walk through a dark tunnel, there's always there will be always a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, my grandmother used to say that. Never mind if you are in fear, if you are in this. And this is the journey, was that playing the game, experiencing the roles, and bringing the shadow so that we could find and transform it into the light. And then vice versa, because then you have other souls of the same light worker group, that came to do the opposite. You know, experiencing the light, and then bringing in the shadow. And you seeing that, but what's happening in the news. But we've got John of God in Brazil, you know, a guru who was saving lives, was doing surgeries. I was in that particular temple several times with people that had cancer, and they walked out with psychic surgeries healed. I never experienced it myself, but I was there as a witness. Children that couldn't walk and started walking. They are being these are gurus emerged. So they were serving the light, but then the greed for power emerged, and that they started manipulating power, abusing women, abusing children, trafficking children. And you've got that one, you've got Muji that is being just tackled recently. You've got Shambhala in America, you know, Rinpoche has just, the news has just come out. I don't know if you know, but I'm aware of all this. that, you know, one of the most pious, transformative leaders in the Buddhist tradition has been experiencing orgies and abusing women and manipulating them for ages. You got Muji doing the same thing. There's 3 women at the time that are serving him in all favors. This has brought up to light. This is in Portugal, in his temple, in his ashram. In India, a whole of them have been tackled. In Brazil, John of God is not the only leader. There's been 12 leaders, gurus, on the surface, bringing the light. And I must say, some of their work, exceptional, that became a dark machine. So you have the inverse also. So you've got, it's what I call the dance of the paradoxes. That these paradoxes are part of our reality. For us to get to where we are now, to come to a recoding and a reframing of our new reality, all this had to be collapsed. So both the dark and the light is collapsing, so that we can then reorder, can reframe our reality. And this is not just an external process, it's an internal process that we go through too.
Can I say something here, Yukia?
Yes.
You know, when you say the light and the dark is collapsing,
yes.
So it reminds me of what George Cavasali says, that it's like, and this I struggle a bit with this, not really a bit, but not really, that he says it's this, when you say the light and the dark, he talks about it in terms of the God syndrome, and it's very in terms of when in terms of where we are caught in religious phenomena, and we call it God. He calls it the God phenomena, the light and the dark. But in reality, we should go. Are you saying that we go even beyond this light and dark?
This is what yes.
Where we are trapped in the God phenomena.
Yes. When we get over the God phenomenon, you know, in the times of the mythical stories, you know, of the demigods and everything. It was the demigods and then the God phenomenon. Okay, same thing happened. This has been repeated over the ages. Yeah, but when we cross, and I like that too, and I might use it, you know, because I really like when you go over the God phenomenon and everything crumbles. Point. So you going beyond the duality of all duality that existed in this planet, and then you entering into a playing field where you now we all can navigate, you know, clear of any paradox, basically, because the duality, our dual. November last year.
You got cut off there when you said our what? Our dual
our dual world. So duality as such collapsed in November last year. You know, the whole thing crumbled, you know, and we are seeing a whole lot of things coming out of the boxes as a result. And this is going to be an organic process. It's not automatic. No matter what you hear, from who you hear, you know, about giving us an automatic answer, you know, it's not going to be. It's organic. It's going to take 1 to 2 years, but we are. That's where we are, moving beyond that.
Sorry, what did you say we are?
We are now moving beyond all duality, beyond the God elevation, you know. So that's been broken down. Because what does that do? It puts the importance. So it elevates a master all the time, where the master is actually in you. You are the master. You are the master. The minute you start giving importance and revering the opinion of another that you are hearing, then that person becomes the master. And person can disappoint you just like that. And then when that happens, you feel separate. And you want to lash out to that person. It's all artificial. Because the only reason that you feel like that is because you have given your power to the one you're listening. To yourself. There's been a recent video, and I've shared with Rosalind this, that happened. I don't know Estes. So he was interviewed by Kerry Samadhi recently.
We missed the word.
Jason Estes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He was interviewed by Kerry about the money situation, financial situation in the world. Okay. And he has a very clinical view about money. He's got the money structure works for him. So he's got a, and certainly with my perspective or Kerry's perspective, but are we going to lash out because he's got a different perspective that he's bringing in? That, you know, all debts need to be paid, that all this, you know, no. Those that lash out, Kerry Samadhi received so many emails after this talk. And they were like this. He is serving the Illuminati. He is serving the dark. You know, he believes that the money system serves this planet. He's got, that is why he enriched himself. He's working for the dark side. Please don't interview him again. Now, there's great sadness in this. That's expressing an expression. You are not giving him the master position. If you are not revering this person, if you are not, he's just bringing his life and his perspective. The system works. And he believes in that system. And certainly the system works to another system that will come in for many. So depending where you are and where you are in the spectrum of development and growth and expansion, you know, this is a step in the system that works. Are you going to create separation in the step in the system by lashing out to a person outside yourself and say you cannot interview this person and create separation? Or you are going to say, we have a different opinion. We do not agree. This is not my perspective. However, I accept that this is a valid perspective for many people still, that and the frequencies they are navigating. Are you with me in this? Do you understand?
Yes.
The real thing is that those people that lashed out had revered Jason Estes, and this, I'm just taking him as an example, and believe me, he doesn't mind, have taken have revered Jason Estes' opinions, as he's done quite a lot of videos, and where he speaks is very clear and true. So the minute they now listen to something that was completely out of the spectrum of transformation as they understood, they were ready to label him dark and cut him out. And the only reason they did that is because they had given power to him. They had revered. Because if they were the valid perspectives, because he spoke about many things that were valid, and the ones that they were no longer in their timeline. That timeline was no longer theirs. And they wouldn't even feel emotional about it because they were united with themselves. And this is where we want to get to. We want to get to that unity where we are able to stand in our sovereignty, but also in our compassion and in our love and in our acceptance that there is so many perspectives of realities and layers and timelines playing out at the same time. Hello?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm bringing how we start this program is with our own story, because our own story was the start of everything. Then followed the Lyrian story, because our own story was one. Then we came to the separation that occurred in the planet in Lyra. Was like our guardian, our grandfathers and our grandmothers. It was the first planet that interacted with us here in this realm of existence. And they had a massive explosion within the two planets of theirs, when the reptiles and the draconians started their wars for territory and exploitation. Had to fled from their planets, and they had to come to and they lost their families. They separated from their families. They separated from their children. It was like chaos. And the seed of separation was birthed in each one of the earthbound seeds. Of every one of us, but every one of us has that seed of separation. Now, the new children that are coming in, and all the walk-ins don't have that seed of separation. So they might have the seed Joshua.
We just missed that bit, Yukia, sorry. They might have the seeds.
They might have the seed of the lineage of Joshua and the Essenes, the lineage of the Druids, the lineage of the Essenes, the lineage of Joshua. So that the 13 tribes were built.
Sorry, hon, we lost all of that.
Okay,
all that last bit.
you lost all of it.
Just
All right.
Just that last bit, the last couple of sentences.
Until where did you listen?
To the Essenes and after that.
Yeah, the Essenes, okay, and the lineage. So that was the lineage of the Grail. Okay, we hear a lot about the Grail. Now that lineage did not have the seed of separation inside. That was the difference.
Excuse me, Yukia.
Yes.
I just have to ask.
Yes.
The Druid lineage and the Grail lineage.
Yes.
Is it so that Jesus didn't actually die on the cross? He went to Europe and started that lineage and actually lived to be like 80.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so when you say Joshua, that's not Jesus.
No, that's not Joshua. That's the Joshua lineage, you know.
Okay. I don't know what that is. Could you just say what that is?
No, Jesus was called Emmanuel.
Hang on.
He was also called,
Jesus.
yes.
Sorry, we lost it.
So Jesus at the time was called Joshua, okay? Was also called Emmanuel, all right? So he carried the seed, the pure seed, the seed that did not have any separation, the seed of the heart consciousness. And it was at that time that we as light workers on the other side, if we were, or on earth, okay, if we were on earth, that's the time that we navigated and we fully embodied that art consciousness. You understand? So these two seeds, let's call this seeds. So the seed of separation that was brought by the Lyrians and that was brought by light workers, you know, creating separations because of superiority, you know, and the seed of the Grail that was brought by later on by the lineage of Jesus, let's put it this way, okay, gave birth to two lineages on earth. All right, one which are the bloodlines, the conspirators of our world, the
Yukia, sorry.
separation.
Yukia, at the beginning of one was when you were talking about the bloodlines.
Oh, so hard.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
The first bloodline.
Yes, the bloodline of separation. So these, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. There's one that carried the seed of separation. All right. Of many of us that came to earth that brought the seed, and also the birthing of the seeds of Lyra, where its separation emerged within the DNA of the earthbound souls. So we've got that lineage. That lineage became then manipulated, adulterated, and gave birth to the bloodlines, the royal bloodlines, to the conspirators, to the manipulators, to the Illuminati. Okay? In summary, right? Now, we've got the Jesus bloodline who brought the pure energy without the separation in the DNA. And he lived until he was very old. So he gave birth to a whole lot of people in the world that carry the seed of unity, the seed of the heart consciousness of unity. Now, these two lineages have been mingling in conflict. Okay? The conflict in the Middle East is not about anything else except this. And of course, there's other things. There's stargates, there's portals, you know, in all these regions, you know, that are sacred. That's also the focus of the conflict. But it's these lineages that are you know, working as volunteered to come forward, to act the game, right? The other volunteered to come and act for the light, for unity, existing in our planet. And for your information, they have just preserved agreements, finally. So agreements have been reached in the equinox very recently between the two lineages. So at energetic level, of course. The councils, interplanetary councils, are all aware of the game, because this was the game. So,
sorry, Yukia.
Yes.
Sorry, could you say more about this agreement reached on equinox between the two?
Yes. So the bloodlines, the families, the royal families, and the bloodlines on Earth, the conspirators, the manipulators, they've just reached agreement, with the pure family.
Right, you've completely gone.
Lost you.
We can't hear you.
No, I think she's gone. She's dropped off, is she? Oh, they didn't want to telling us about it.
No, that's the sense I'm getting. They don't want us to know this. Oh my goodness. But now we know.
But now we know.
It makes so much sense. It's so clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Oh my goodness.
It's funny when she was talking about with the guilt and everything like that. One of the things that helped me a lot was around self-worth, and it was Judy Satori. She brought it through, and it was many of us were at the time of Lemuria and Atlantis when they fell, and such a sense of they said you will still be feeling a sense of failure, and unworthiness, because you weren't able to stop it.
That's exactly what I feel like.
And when she said it, I just broke down and cried, because it was so true.
Yeah.
But they said it was all divinely, like there was nothing that anyone could do, and it was meant to happen.
Wow, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't get that part, Denise. What did you say at the end?
So they said it was all divinely all planned, like it was all meant to happen. So it was no one's fault. There was nothing that any of us could have done to stop it happening. Yeah, and it was just the most amazing. It was just transformed so much for me then, Yeah.
That's the exact same reason I've had really severe skin problems for 2,000 years. And the last one was like I've been an architect in many lives, and I'm the one in this life too. And when the Mayan fell and into the hands of the Europeans, and they took all their gold away, then I had a really bad skin problem. I can remember it. And then now in this life, I was just able to solve it. And it's because of this. It's because we know who we are, and we know that this is being confirmed. And it's like, it's so big for me, because it's so huge. It's so devastating to be, So this is my huge, confirmation day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't believe we're here. This is the beginning of something big.
Yeah.
Denise, was it at the return of the Lyra retreat with Judy that you experienced that?
No, we were in Ladakh up at Pangong Lake. So
okay, yeah.
We reopened a portal we closed in Lemuria.
Yes.
We didn't know this was going to happen. She didn't know it was going to happen either. And we just, synchronistically, of course, a couple of people had to fly back to Malaysia. And so we ended up with
Denise?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes?
Can't hear you very well. Can you speak louder, maybe?
Oh, sorry. I'm probably sitting a bit far away. And so we had the exact same number of people and everything. And as we were preparing for what was to come, which we didn't know, it just all unfolded. That's when they talked through her. She did the light language, and then the message came through about the unworthiness. And they just said, many of you will feel unworthy, that you failed, and feel this grief for having not being able to stop what happened in Lemuria. And there was just a number of us just started crying. It was just like whoomp. It was it was amazing.
I was with Judy and 72 others at Taupo when we activated the etheric Earthkeeper crystal of Lemuria. And all of us that were there had been together in Lemuria. And when we first tried to do it, there was too much dissonance in the group and we weren't successful.
Yes.
And had to come together and more emotion came out, and then we were able to complete. But very much what we're talking about now, I've been feeling recently. I went down the rabbit hole with the chemtrails and the 1080, and I'm Scorpio, double Scorpio. I go into those dark underworld places. I have that ability. But I came out and I realized part of what was motivating me in there was the memory of we couldn't stop it before. Yes. And when I realized that about a month ago, everything just went poof, and I didn't need to learn anymore. I know what's happening over there. And even before I went in there, I knew what was happening and why I needed to go in, because I had to catalyze all this energy to the surface in the unified field, but also in myself. But realizing just what we're just talking about now, just about a month ago, and there's another very deep layer happening right now as we're working together. I can feel it very deeply. That we actually couldn't stop it, and it was meant to happen. And yes, it's hard for me to find all the words to describe what I feel, but just totally amazed by this conversation energy that we're in now. Yeah.
Sorry guys, by interrupting you, but my body will explode. I have to speak. I'm burning from inside out. Like that. Something is trying to come through me.
Go for it.
I try. Yakora tu kwashakatira hana kwatia la krana kwatasia. Kiana kwatia nuku. Yasakasha. Kira kata kota kunuka tiara kata kota kasi kata kalara kana kotu kota kata kara kata kasi shikata kalara kana kota kati kalara kota kati kasi kati 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 au kati au kati au kati irga ati au kati 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 rika ati 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 ati
Wow.
That's my life. Everyday life.
I'm so glad you spoke.
I'm sweating. Okay. Thank you for listening to me.
Yukia's computer crashed. She's trying to get back through her phone.
Oh, she's going to be beside herself.
She can what?
She's going to be beside herself with that happening. She might have to go back to Portugal.
Yes.
I was thinking the same thing. How much longer is she in Peru for, Denise?
Oh, I'm not really sure.
All of the month of May until all of the month of April, and she's back in Europe at the beginning of May. That's the plan.
So probably all of these sessions we're having, she'll be in Peru.
Yeah.
Yes. It's quite challenging for all of us, but we just have to stay present in the heart, don't we? And the head's just like, well, can't.
Yes. Lisa, I feel so much that, they don't want us to know this, but by our persistence and because everybody are so on, we transcend it, because this is so important. That
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I feel the same thing. But it's annoying that it's disruptive for all of us, but we're getting the energy. We're in the energy field anyway. So, yeah.
And the focus is 100%. We are so on. So that's what helps it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree. We're so on. This is my line. I've been writing a lot, and I put "on" in big capital letters when this is my line too. I understand. We are on. Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
And you know, I feel it was so important what she said about the dichotomy between the dark and the light, and the leaders that we have looked up to, the masters, you know. And I get that for many thousand years it's been like just one possible way for ordinary people to follow a guru, to follow a spiritual way, you know, officially. I get that, but now everybody have to do it for themselves. And so I like what she describes, that these big masters, or John of God, for example, he has helped a lot of people. But when you lose your perspective, then, you know, I'm so glad it comes out, because it has to stop, because we cannot traffic children, we cannot abuse them anymore. Women have to step up, and this is why we have to do this, because now the power has to be different, and it's time. It's just so time.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to say that.
You're so right, Sylvie.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah, and it's all about being in our sovereign being, isn't it? Knowing that it's all within us, and that we don't have to go outside to anybody.
But then these people are playing an important role in deconstructing the guru paradigm, right?
Yes.
By playing a role that is not admirable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the difference, Zara, I think that the difference now is that it comes out and we get to know it, and it's being displayed. It's being inside out. It's enough. We cannot do this to ourselves anymore. So
but maybe also, I mean, in their contract, I think it was very brave of them. But the ones that we see, it was very brave of them to play this role, to be the ones who are kind of sacrificial.
Yes.
So in a way too. Yeah,
I agree, Mariana.
Them too. Yeah. I think it must be really, really difficult to be in that role now.
It's kind of like we're all in a play, and I mean, who wants to select to be the character that is the most unsavory? You know?
And I think it takes a lot of courage and a lot of love to do that.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yes. Yes.
And see, here we are. Listen to us now. We're expressing what? Compassion.
Yes.
And this is what it's all about. This is what overcomes everything, the compassion. And seeing that.
But Rosalind, it also has to be expressed. It has to be said. It has to be revealed. And then, when you express passion, it's compassion. It's so much stronger.
Then it has meaning.
Yeah. It's kind of like the same dichotomy with Israel and Palestine as well. You know, look at the role that's been there for all of these years, and it's time to transform that role as well.
Transmutate. I'm here in Israel. I know what you're saying. Yeah. I've been here since 2003.
Wow.
And I've experienced from the United States to here, and also the duality of everything, and what I see and know of what goes there for information and what is coming out here for information in the news, for instance. And it's just, it's all mixed up, and it's all played with, all of it. So so we're here, and that's why we're here now.
Wow, I admire that.
Yeah.
You are doing an important job. My goodness.
You know, it's funny where I'm living. Thank goodness. I'm living in Haifa. I live right across from Lebanon. I can see it every day.
She's back.
And I live on the ley line that runs where all the monasteries are between Ireland and Mount Carmel.
Wow.
Right on that line.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing things have happened here.
I would like to.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Is she back?
Don't see her.
Yes, she's right here. She's on the phone. See her? Yuki, can you hear us? No.
Yeah, can you hear
Hello?
us?
Yes.
Okay, now.
You're back.
I'm back, but
Fabulous.
now I'm with the phone because the computer crashed. Actually, virtually crashed. So I don't know. It's just I can't switch it on, and it's full.
Telling us, Yuki, about the agreements.
Pardon?
They didn't want you telling us
Where
about
am I?
the agreements.
Yeah.
The peace agreement. Yeah, they don't want me to tell you any of this.
No, we know.
Yeah, we're all...
It's not. That's why I haven't done this. I haven't done this before because of it.
But Yukia, you have generated something fantastic.
So we've
had a fabulous conversation, and everybody are super on, and we are so grateful for this. And it's perfect timing. Perfect.
Aye, lovely. I'm looking now for the charger for this phone so that we don't get another crash on this one. So I've got 2 devices. I've got 3 devices, and 2 of them are crashed.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
All right.
It's fun. It's fun and games. It's fun and games. But I think I've got here. So let's just see. Okay, so we were at the peace agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. So the peace agreements. Okay, not here. The peace agreements have been reached. All right, finally. Many of the royal families have reached out to the Grail families, okay, because there are both sides of this, and they have made agreements of non-interference, of returning to peace, of deconstructing realities that were artificial. These agreements were not only made on Earth, they were made in the councils interplanetarily also. So that's why the councils have amalgamated. The first thing last year, the whole year, the councils were amalgamating. So if you can imagine having 62 councils or more, each dealing with different people, with different causes, they finally, these 64 councils have now, they've been amalgamating, and they've, from the 62, 14, 15 councils, have amalgamated, obviously of different specialities, government, environment, soul restoration, cell restoration, whatever. And so these bloodlines have representation in those councils, because the earth beings have been since as far as 1926 already, they've been in contact with ET races for a long time, and they have access to teleportation and to bilocation, especially bilocation, but also teleportation, and they appear in the councils. So this peace agreement was not only reached on Earth. This peace agreement was reached because all star nations, placed a lot of pressure, on the royal families and on the pure families, basic pure energy families, to come together and to resolve the differences. And it's in progress. It's not done, but it's in progress. Okay. And so more than 100,000 indictments have occurred in our planet. More than 100,000. So of course, this is not in the news. You don't see this information in the news, you see David Wilcock speak about some of this information and being ridiculed, but he's actually speaking the truth, So this is what's happening, and these families have been brought, some of these families, the royal families serving the dark games, have been brought to task, you know, and some of them, you know, they've been imprisoned, they've been, you know, interrogated, all of this. And once this all started, this also made, you know, this activated, so to speak, a lot of pressure within them. And no one wants to leave this planet. No one wants to go somewhere else. You know, why not change? And so a lot of the families have come together, and they, of the peace agreements were actually Japan and Asia and China in pushing the peace agreements through. Okay, and they were probably the darkest in many instances. So yeah, that's all I can give at this stage. The agreements are on, you know, peace is being. A lot of changes are going to be observed in the planet as a result of these peace agreements, you know, because the artificial we will see what's going to happen with 5G, because that's another discussion that's taking place, you know, because there's an 80% against it and 20% in favor of it, you know. But the good thing is, because there's a good, is that these agreements are finally in progress. Just shows that we are moving beyond the duality, beyond that God that we discussed, that God state, you know, where everything breaks down, the dark and the light, you know. And in the light, everything had to be shown that was dressed as light, but was false light, you know, and it was actually darkness. So there's a lot of false light going on.
So Yuki, you're
That.
breaking up, honey. You just stopped. So can I just ask, when you talk about the agreements, you're talking about ETs with higher selves, or you know, like the councils with the royals' higher selves, or who's actually having the agreements?
No, I'm talking about physical discussion.
Oh, you're freezing.
Yeah, okay. All right, going upstairs, seeing that it's better.
So physical discussion is who?
Yeah, no, this is, it's very challenging to do it this way, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, you know, actual.
No, you just froze.
Can you hear me?
You froze. So you said, I'm talking about actual.
Okay, wait a minute.
Have you gone back to the lounge, Yukia?
No, I'm now upstairs where the router is.
Right, because maybe back down in the lounge is better. I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Okay, let me try.
Because
Okay.
it was, you know, it was okay in the lounge. It was a bit intermittent, but yeah, I think it's good if you find somewhere to stop.
In terms of the picture, you know, and maybe that will improve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So these agreements were physical. These are physical discussions that have been taking place at the Earth level, at the inner Earth level, and in interplanetary councils. Okay, in physical and energetic form, both. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hear you.
All right. So it's not only, these are not ISF discussions. These are discussions that have been taking in and out of Earth, in and out of Earth, and certain agreements have been made for peace in this aiding. All right, and that meant that a whole lot of that the polarity that exists needs to be totally collapsed and deconstructed. And I always like to say it's erased and uncreated, because that's even easier. But, we're talking about reframing and rescripting that reality also. So you've seen that we are in a phase of great purging. And I like that's the term, because even though the agreements have been reached, there's so much that was at stake and manipulated, and so much to be restored, that organically this is going to take place. And of course, what happens in the external is a reflection of what happens in the internal, so that means that all that distortion is inside all of us, like I've said in the beginning. That's why I started with the Lightworkers story. It's wars that affected us tremendously, and both the draconian and the reptilian wars, and were all not only wars for territory.
Okay, we've lost that. We've lost that part. The Draconians wars.
Okay, just hold on. Okay, so I'm all right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So the wars when the galactic wars started.
No, you just.
Okay, you can't hear me.
Yeah, we can now. But you're breaking up quite badly.
Yeah, and there's no moment. So the wars with the Draconians and the Reptilians were for territory. Then they became wars for resources, and that's when our planet became a target, because we have all the resources, and so the wars really finished, and then we went into the Orion wars for technology, power, and then that ended in 2016. So all this was part of the purging of this planet. So it's done. So
No.
Dean,
You're breaking up.
Hello?
You're breaking up.
I'm breaking. All right.
So what ended? You broke up when you were talking about what ended in 2016.
So in 2016, we finished completely all wars intergalactic in respect to planet Earth. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
We got that, yeah.
Yeah. So everything. So the Orion wars, all other wars for sovereignty, for power, for technology, for artificial manipulation, really ended in 2016. Okay, and from 2016 to where we are now, we are in what we call the rehabilitation phase. Hello?
Yes.
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 All right. Which we a lot of movement. There's been a lot of movement. Hello, I can see that.
Yeah.
Hello?
We said yes, and then we straight away lost you. I think they're playing games.
I know. So
It's
this
okay.
is
We got most of it, Yukia. You said which we, and you had a drop out, and then you said we see a lot of movement.
so there is hello.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of movement going on forward. it taking us to unity. We are in unity already, but it's not yet visible because there's so much to clean up. Okay. All right. So I know this is a lengthy overview, but it's very important that you know the background, and you know, because we were actors. We were not just in the background. We were all actors in this, you know. So it's so important now that we return to complete peace within and to our essence, just like the planet is doing, just like the families are doing, you know, just like the cosmos is doing, because there's major disagreements on the other side too. It's not only here, you know. But there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel, you know, at the moment. And it's very encouraging. So I think I will stop here with all this. I would like you to just, you know, take in this information, you know, and really breathe it in. Breathe it in into your higher selves, you know, release any, you know, just see this as a number of perspectives that have been playing out in this game, where we were sometimes active actors, and sometimes we were passive ones. Sometimes we were or we were out sacred space, but we were part of the game also, so that we could get to this point of going beyond that, beyond duality, beyond polarity, in what George was calling the God point.
The God phenomena. Yeah.
So for us to all step into our new assignments, our new roles, our new essence. You know, it's not new, it's our pure. We have to release, we have to forgive at all levels. And at the same time, we have to express a lot of gratitude also for you know, being here and being part of this radical transformation. So with this, I would like you to unmute yourselves. And we're going to be, you know, just into your heart.
Into what?
Your presence.
Can you say it again, please?
Pardon?
You would like us to get into what?
To our hearts.
Into your heart, and bring in your presences. Okay?
Okay.
One, express in light language or in sound what, you know, all the, you know, just see all the integrated parts of yourself that are part of this, you know, welcoming those parts of yourself, welcoming them with full forgiveness, and also expressing gratitude for where you are, and express this in light language and sound. Okay?
Do we have our microphones on or off?
I would suggest that I start. You know, you have your let's unmute all of us. What do you think, Denise?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to bring in an activation, and then you guys follow. You just follow in expressing yourself. And let's just hold this container of realization. We are realizing where we are, where we were, and where we are, and everything that is in present moment also. And now we are completely releasing the attachment to everything that we ever thought it was. You know, so the illusion. We are collapsing the matrix of the illusion. All right. Shimge e ina aishmikin ina ongini andu ina sasasukui. Shamrata yete laikina anakoa ya nanushi azwas dekirirana ilma dekurikere anda karakana izma nate titiro zamana kini manai shmid dui kana manoi kana na zamare kene marai la marai na marai na manai kene na nai Kau kwaya na yole, samuera tuera kwaya na, swash chwata kata brai kwai. Next one.
Yana he sa hoa he la sa ta ya te wa se na ma hoa he la ne sa wa ka te ma ta sa la ta ma e sa ya wa ta ya sa ya oh.
Lovely.
Kinara to Marie, Kinene at the room, Marathi, Marathi, Kinara Yakato, Maratari, Kinarato Mara, Kiri, Narato More, Kinaratoma, Kere, Kerato, Marato, Marati, Kara, to the Atira, no, Kirania Karia Karakato Marade Karatarato Marade Kariki Karato Maradati Narato Maratara to Moroto Momono Momo Nananiana Momo Nananiana Kiratri Kara Kuroma Kura Kara Pericali Karavolcano totally Oh, thank you.
Maki, kai, namana, eke zatta kini, ani, makini, na, istai. Hiya! Go, ma, eki, zatta kini, ma, hamaya, zatta. Hana, hana, kam, ana, azaya, ninya, kistai. Gai, kini, astai, kani, ataya. Gai, Gamana iya zaki. Gana ni ashti ananta kamaya ashtaki. Haya, hamai. Hana ne ki zatanana ki yama ki yazate. Gamana ki. Gana na zakiniti. Hoya. Gamana ki ta zatanna kayan. Hashtag. Oh, mani ajani aninya zakiya mona iki asta kinaya. Gona yastini aki goyani astaki. Goma isti akataya kiantai konatia question aki.
Ante ki ashu ante ika kuta itira arushi ne ea ku ea yetina shia kuati akasan etin terera kus shama kunne etin ka iara kushu utene ikara shama tera kashu uta ne hika u ea ishia ne a shama terekisha ia turusu uku ue na ia kuata ia tirashi aka e se tura ia tāna ia kisha nera kusa ia te hika. Umai nera kaya nua shania ia tua ia kini ara shania hau ni aka Yesu ana ia ti ana sikasha ti aka tu ana ti aka share. Ananasha. Ananasha. Great gratitude.
Ja. Maya katotoya kalamedere. Iya mama magatitele mende tutorial kaya kaya. Iya malaka tutorial kama katike mama katotoya kaya kaya kaya. Iya malaka te mama katotoya kama malaka te ya maya te ya kada katototo kore kate ya maya ya la kaya. Iya malaka te ya 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 ya. Koya mama maraka te ya 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 oh. Tia malaya ia 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 turi ai 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 koya malaya turi ai 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 yo kia malete te ia ia mari kate ia ia makate ia mama makate te malake te ai 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 koya manu mare kate ia ke ai 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 Io me oyo que alea, te amale que te amale que amatea, te amale que te que Yamala mama regate, mama de mama de calacate, my koi lemonate, mama regate calacate, to your mama gate. Yamala katama katako mama get Yamalakate Mamarket or Cargium Bama Marikatio, Koyoko, my papa Marikatella, Mamma and Marikatella, Mamma, no, but any only on the Daily, yo, 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 yo.
Kiamele kadoyo yo yo koro kolo koyo 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 koyo
Wasiate oniatea oh yate now he Onatia senetai toya niteatia sanawotai Wakari sare tokona yatatina wayatine Oe Okoya yoto ya yetia wani atia ye Oe Akoisa tina huya ite wani atia ye Okaya tiwa ye Awasera tua yetea Koya tina ye Varasata uyasinatia kuyanatiana Ore sanatia uitea tiasiana utaye Rasa tonai, sitata tonai, warasutiane tokata wote. Arastua siratona sarasa te ayati katana. Petsiani tukutena watiatiani yatsatini yatiakwana yatia. Oh, eh. Tayara tara toitenea. Oisa, oisa, oisa. Quaresia tanea. Oisiarata.
The next one.
Nyakuatasia shahwa karatunu kuateare sakwatia seti. Eya nawa tukara niasa shihwa na kirata kwato tu senala rawana katu. Yania wahate minea wala rakwano to esishea na tukwataria no kwatase. Yakwatiala rahwata. Yakasutuka. Yaka inika eratika washi. Atika o. Irkawanika peata kasa shikara. Kiano kototo era kanyanataka. Iano tukwa. Isikwatia era maniakia. Tu yanahwatatia karanatosu. Yashanata. Yashanata tukwatarania wanahiatara nukwatoso. Enuanata kasia, esia na kashu, enia kwata soshu kwata niareka, iasatakanara tu kwata nae, esua te tu ayarakwana to sushi.
Next one.
I don't speak light language.
Doesn't matter, Mariana. Say what is in your heart. Or make a sound. You can also sound.
It's my turn.
Yes, Bridget.
Okay. Aluna taragua lelele. Hurana la sefeke. Kiri la donna maori. A.
I also don't speak light language.
Thank you. Sing, Joe. Yes.
Yes. I make many sounds when I walk around in nature. I'm
Yeah.
going to make
Just go
sounds
ahead,
now.
love. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Maya? Maya?
Yeah.
Okay, Maya.
Yeah. It's the first time that I use Zoom. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know. I'm not up to it now.
Okay. All right, love. You
Yeah.
can also express it in English if you want to say something. If not, your silence is also a language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is what I feel now.
No, then you must respect what you feel.
Yeah.
All right. Honor yourself. All right.
Thank you.
So we've covered everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so remember this moment. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So remember this moment. You know, it's a moment that you've obviously taken you through this, through our role. You know what has happened, what is where we are at the moment. You know, and we've all now expressed from our heart into the field. You know, into that sacred circle that we activated initially. You know, we've expressed, what we feel from the heart, how what's our intention in terms of letting go of all stories, of all dramas, okay, of all attachments whatsoever, that keep us still in the loop of duality. So going beyond that point, you know, and making an intention for your week to go beyond that point. All right. And but in saying that, to allow yourselves and surrender yourselves to all that that will appear in your field of the old still, to be dealt, to be noticed, and to be released, and to be erased from your field. All right. So I will be sending you. Okay, first I will open a Facebook closed group